Hey team, Browncoat from Koru-Cottage, and this time around I'm bringing you a review for Firewall 0 Hour. Before I go any further though, just want to say a big thanks to PlayStation New Zealand for dishing out the review code for us. And before I go any further, I just want to say if you dug what you've seen here, maybe consider subscribing and even just a like. As I say, it makes me feel a bit better about all the work and stuff I put into it. And also, don't forget to swing past koru-cottage.com, the actual written website where most of our content sits. Alright, so Firewall 0 Hour. It is a PSVR only title, so it's an exclusive on the headset. And for me, as somebody who is what you would probably consider new to PSVR, I've had it a few months now. I got one right at launch from Sony to use for a month or so, and I got to admit, it impressed me but didn't sell me on the technology. But since the new headset with the few improvements have been added to it, and then also the vast quantity of games that are out there now, I thought I'd dive in. So I've actually bought a headset myself, and I've been using it flat out now for a few months. And I've got to say, I'm really enjoying what the PSVR has brought to my gaming. So for Firewall, it is a tactical shooter from First Contact Entertainment. Now, they're a bit of an interesting studio. There's a bit of background to them. If you check out my 10 things to know about Firewall, I made a video prior to launch of the game. Check that out and you'll see some of the sort of interesting behind the scenes stuff that's gone on with First Contact. But what I'm going to do is essentially try and keep this review pretty short and sweet because it's pretty positive. This game is awesome. I'm just going to put it out there and make it pretty plain for people to see. Think Rainbow Six Siege, but 4v4 tactical multiplayer shooter, but all in VR. So there is some single player stuff very similar to Rainbow Six Siege as well, which essentially just lets you learn some of the different skills and gadgets and stuff that are available, and it can be played in co-op against AI, but the AI is crap and it's a pretty, to be fair, pretty throwaway sort of experience. The actual star of the show is the 4v4 online multiplayer. It is fantastic. Like, I have in my real life done a bit of SRC, and what SRC is systematic room clearing, and CQC, and this is the closest thing I've ever experienced in a video game to actual room clearance and that stress you have when you're crossing the threshold or the fatal funnel and things like that. Like, it has nailed that feeling of peek and go, working as a team. It's a very, very cool experience. Graphically, look, it's a PSVR game. It's not going to look as good as Rainbow Six Siege, but the immersion factor of being in the world, and when you spot somebody at range and you start putting rounds on them and you're going, oh my god, my first couple of rounds haven't hit, now they know where I am, you get that wee rush. It's like, whoa, I'm in trouble here. I'm going to have to decide, am I going to push on this boy, or am I going to back off, set some traps? It's really well done. So anyway, enough gushing. What I'll do is I'll just nail some of the specifics, and then you guys can sort of make up your own mind. But as a game itself, the movement and comfort settings on a PlayStation VR game is really important to me because I don't have the strongest constitution. I'm one of those people who gets car sick reading in the car and that sort of stuff. So I can say outright, I have not felt unwell, not once, using this game. And I'm using full motion, not snap turning or anything like that. I still have the blinders on for when I'm sprinting. But apart from that, I'm descending staircases, going down ramps on the sides of boats, things like that, and I don't feel sick, not once, which is really unusual to me, and that's a testament to the advancements that are being made, because I remember playing Robinson the Journey on the original when the PSVR launched, and man, I got so crook. I felt terrible for like a whole day. So they have nailed the technology. They've figured out what it takes to make it smooth for people. Like any team-based tactical shooter, teamwork is key. The PSVR thankfully has built-in microphones, so generally when you load into a lobby and find your teammates, you generally, g'day, how you going guys? And you'll get a quick feel for if they're going to talk or not. And if you've got a team who will talk, you guys are going to smash. Like, it's wicked. You team up 2 on 2, clearing the corners together, and it's very methodical, especially if you start working together about drawing opposition players in with a wee sneaky trap or a mine set on the inside of a door. You'll do a wee duck run to fake them out so they come towards you, and boom, hit them with a trap. It's really cool. My only complaint would be the leveling up is pretty slow. Like, I think it's level 50 is the max, and it's a bit of a grind. And to actually unlock the new guns to buy, because you have to use your cryptocurrency you get from completing contracts, which is completing each game, you level up, which allows you to then buy that gun, and it's pretty expensive too. So it's been set for a long-term grind. You're not going to blast through and see everything in terms of guns and attachments that's available in a few hours. I'm not sure whether they'll address that. I think they're going to have to, because it's just way too expensive. I've put a few hours in now, and I'm still only using basically the introductory weapons, which is still good. It's an M4, a shotgun, and a MP5. But there's cosmetic customization and stuff you can buy as well. Very, very similar to the Rainbow Six Siege model. Controlling it is aim controller, which is the gun controller, which is brilliant. Like, the tracking is 1-to-1 almost, and you actually have to snap up and find your sights. It doesn't just automatically bring the red dot in the middle of your screen just like a normal video game. You have to alter your head, alter your gun position, lean around the corners to find that red dot so you can put rounds on your target. It's just like the real thing. It's so cool. DualShock also works and actually controls really well with the DualShock. Aim control is the way to go because it feels like a gun in your hands, but don't hesitate to consider buying this if you've only got a DualShock, because you still have awesome fun, and the tracking is still solid with the DualShock. They did say that there's going to be more modes coming, so the player base for a PSVR exclusive game is small, so they've had to make allowances for that. So it's only 4v4 attack and defend, so you've got to go to the objective and try and hack a laptop, and the defending team have got to stop you. Now, there's firewalls that have to be breached first, and there's some tactics that you can put in play, but I won't get into that sort of stuff. But the developers have said there will be more modes coming potentially if there's support from the community. But if they were put too many modes in place, you're going to end up matchmaking for ages just to try to fill your lobby up. But because there's only one mode type, everyone who's playing Firewall, everyone plays the same game mode, and the lobbies fill up pretty quick, which I can absolutely agree with. They filled up pretty quick. I've hardly ever got sitting waiting for ages and ages. There have been the odd server drops and things, but that's been fixed or being fixed. And there's a few sort of griefs and things which the developers are all over already, which is really positive that they're interacting with us. They haven't just crapped the game out and just ignoring it. So, yeah, basically, if you are a tactical shooter fan, if you've loved Ghost Recon, Rainbow Six, that sort of stuff, this is a game for you. If you have a PSVR and you like tactical shooters, you have to buy this game. You will have never played a first-person shooter like it. Being in the world and having to use tactics like a tactical shooter requires is stunning, and it is probably, for me, the best game on PSVR at the moment. And I gotta even put it out there, just purely because it's video gaming for me is about experiences and new experiences, and this is a game that I've wanted since I can't think how long as a video gamer, and it's very close to being on my Game of the Year list, to be perfectly honest, because it's a unique experience. You cannot get this playing on a flat screen. So that's my take, and look, I hope you've enjoyed the review. Please come and visit koru-cttage.com to check out the rest of our content, and it would be appreciated if you've made it this far to check out the rest of the YouTube channel. Maybe consider subscribing or a like. Alrighty? Cool. Alright, well, I'll see you on the battlefield. Thanks for dropping by.